Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show on the Good and Head podcast. We have with us a very special guest, Juan Carlos, and he is originally from Portugal. He's been based out of London for over 30 years, and his website can be found at changeideserve.com. I highly recommend checking it out. He's a personal development and stress management consultant, an accredited clinical board certified hypnotherapist, self empowerment and trauma healing coach with many tools at his disposal, such as neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy. He uses the polyvagal theory and internal family systems practice. Juan, welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the amazing introduction. Yes, I do incorporate those modalities within my scope of therapy. It's a modern psychotherapy method which incorporate all those elements under hypnosis.
Something that I've really been interested in since I began my personal development journey back in 2014 was the possibility of reprogramming or rewriting our belief system through the subconscious mind. Come to find out, that's your specialty.
It is indeed, Pete, yeah.
So, give us sort of a brief overview of your life from birth on up through the teenage and early adult years.
Okay, yeah. I was born in Venezuela from Portuguese parents and lived in Portugal. And I'm now a Portuguese citizen. I changed my nationality. And now I live in Northwest London. And I've been in London for 33 years. So most of my life I've lived in the UK. My childhood was eventful, adventurous, and changing, constantly changing. My parents immigrated to Venezuela to find their fortune, and their aim was to acquire property, renovate, have certain kind of businesses, and then move on. So I was constantly uprooted. I was finding friends here, then all of a sudden I don't have friends anymore. I have to make new friends elsewhere because their plan was to eventually move back to Portugal. That was something that they were doing with a wider goal. That wasn't part of my plans.
What was your plan?
As a child, you just go with it. So I found quite a difficulty in settling. And it's just when I came to England that I found my place. It's not necessarily that I'm going to remain in England forever, but I just found a sense of I've arrived. And that shows that I've been here for 33 years. So I'm the youngest of four. So when I was born, my brother was already 14. My sister was 9 or 12, and the other one was 10. So I was the youngest of the family. So I felt quite isolated. I'm sure they love me. They provide me with all the necessary requirements to grow, but I never fit in because they already had their lives. They already have their mates there, and I was just in the house playing by myself, creating my own adventures, my own ways of entertaining, using a lot of my imagination. um, from a very, very early ages, I've acquainted with the process of manifestation. Gosh, you actually manifest things, but I didn't know how, the ins and outs. So I was always curious about how the mind works, how the body works, how we interact in this amazing universe. So I developed a like for sciences. My background is on biomedical sciences. In order to understand my body, in order to understand how all these things fit in. And the transition from the biomedical sciences career after over 2 decades working at different laboratories in different hospitals in the UK. At my last job, at my last employment, my boss offered me if I would like to take the role of mental health ambassador for the company. So I've acquired a taste of coaching, conflict resolution, but the training provided was an internal training, and I felt that wasn't robust enough. So I pursue my own training. In my own spare time, I did 3 diplomas in hypnosis, polyvagal, trauma-informed, with different mentors and different teachers, and also did a diploma in coaching. And from there, then my life changed because I lived and embodied the process. I went through every single method that was being taught so that I was going to be prepared and well informed to provide a service, to provide transformation, to enable someone to transform themselves. So my approach is based on the model that your thoughts influence your actions, and your actions your behaviors, and then from there on. Mm-hmm. So it's a therapeutic method that it's done with you, not to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. While there are different methodologies, and some clients prefer some methodologies, this is a very immersive one. This is a guided journey, because I firmly believe that everybody has the resources within themselves to overcome the challenges. I don't like the problems, or I don't like the obstacles. I challenges, because the challenge is inviting to challenge yourself to overcome it. So I'm a conduit, I'm a guide, I'm someone that maybe have been there and knows that there is a solution after that. Or I believe in you so much that I know that you have the resources to overcome it, because I've seen it happen over and over again. So it's a process that is done with you rather than to you.
I really love that.
My life changed. People were concerned that I changed careers in my 50s. I'm going to be 58, and in my 50s, I start transitioning with doing this course, doing that course, doing that course. And my friend says, when are you going to stop studying?
Never.
And the answer is, we always learning.
Yes. It's an ongoing progressive
It's
process to
not
the day we die.
absolutely, yeah.
I love your response. Now, what I heard was when you were a child, you felt very alone, maybe even abandoned, and were able to create this gift within that you started to project onto your own reality using visualization and manifestation to create a more beautiful personal reality for yourself. You didn't
Excellent.
need anybody else to do that for you. You learned how to do it yourself. And it's almost as if, you know, being so much younger and quote unquote alone helped you to realize your gifts very early on in life.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm deeply thankful for that because it
mm,
led to a journey inward, a journey of discovery, um, a fascinating journey with the, the mind, the curiosity, what is happening? Why is this happening now? And then asking the questions um, and getting some answers and conflict answers and finding the right people to ask. Grandparents are amazing. They have a solution for everything, and if they don't know, they tell you that the answer will come to you. Um, uh, you just need to wait, and the answer will come to you. That was an amazing response. So I waited, and everything comes to you in time.
that is true. Yes, sometimes we find ourselves very impatient,
Yes.
but
In nature, yeah, in nature, nothing, everything has its gestation period. An apple will mature at its right time. It doesn't matter how impatient you are for that apple to be ready, it won't be ready until it's time. We are the only species that are overruling that, uh, being in allowing that gestation period to happen.
mm,
Everything takes time.
yeah,
One of the problems, my method of my therapeutic method is quite rapid and fast, but it's not magic,
mm. That's one
and
question
it's
I
not
had.
linear. It's not linear either. People
Mm,
think that changing and growth is linear. No, it goes up, it goes down, it evolves. We deal with what emerges in session.
nice. Yeah, it's sort of like a snake or a insect shedding its skin over and over and over to become something greater and more beautiful later. But my question with the rapid transformation, there's so many different ways to reprogram the subconscious mind. The one that I've found useful for me personally is very slow, and it's just through repetition, years of it. But when I saw the word rapid in front of the word transformation, I thought, wow, well, I'm pretty sure that you know some things that I haven't been introduced to yet. So,
So I use both fast and repetition. The mind learns by repetition. The reason we have a specific behavior is because we've done that over and over and over again. So if we need to change that behavior, we need to change what is fueling that in order to change. The problem happens when people think that positive affirmations will be a good thing to do. They are, absolutely. I have hundreds of affirmations that I do during my meditation in the morning. But if the belief is not in accordance with what we are thinking and saying and repeating, it doesn't manifest.
mhm.
I'm wealthy, I'm powerful, I'm capable. I No, you're not. because the belief is that you are not enough. You're stupid, you are this, you are that. So eradicating those beliefs first, then there is a wider space for the affirmation to go in, because we have a filter that doesn't, it is not congruent with who we are. It doesn't matter how many times you tell your friend that you are beautiful, you are stunning. My God, your face is radiant, you are beautiful. But if the belief is that you are not good enough or you're ugly because someone told you that you are ugly at the age of 5, and at the age of 5 you couldn't do anything about it, you just accepted it, because by nature gives us a state of hypnosis from birth to the age of 8 or 9, so that we can acquire as much as possible. But the thing is that it acquires good and bad, and it's a mixture. It doesn't select.
Sure. And with our young minds, we don't understand it all. We make up our own stuff.
Absolutely. We are pure emotion. Our front cortex is not ready activated. It actually, what you're saying is not right. It does not belong to me. That is all to do with you. That level of emotional intelligence doesn't exist. So that's why we need to work on our childhood beliefs. Yeah. And then when they are removed, then the affirmations have more congruency. Yes, I'm powerful. Yes, I'm strong. Yes, I'm clever. There is evidence that I'm clever. Yes, I did this in the past, so I can do this in the future. But in order to be able to, for you to repeat and incorporate, the core belief needs to be dealt with.
Yeah. So how does one go within and uproot those core beliefs that they adopted as small children, and alter and upgrade those?
There are different methodologies. I use hypnosis. People can do it with meditation, but the thing, when you do it yourself, you may not go as deep enough and may not be confronting enough the shadows. But if you have someone guiding you and providing a safe space for you to go there, because I regress my clients to that specific point where that happened. But the difference is that you are not reliving it, you're reviewing with your subconscious mind. You are empowering, as for example, me, as a 50-year-old person, you empowering the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old didn't have a voice. The 50 is going to give a voice to that child. And then when you incorporate that, that is solved, that is dealt with.
Nice. Now, I've heard from many different sources that, like you said, the human mind as a child for the first 8 or 9 years, you said, is in theta mode, which is a programmable recording state where we're absorbing everything. And then right around that age, it sort of shuts off and goes into a different mode entirely. And those programs and ill-conceived or misperceived beliefs that we've acquired or adopted along the way or made up ourselves, misunderstanding well-meaning parents or caregivers, then those damaging, disempowering beliefs run within the subconscious mind automatically, and that life unfolds according to the beliefs that we hold within ourselves. So,
and our subconscious mind is about 90 to 95%, and our conscious mind is 5 to 10%. So emotion and logic, emotion always will win.
Yeah.
Because 95 will never compete with 5. Yes, you could believe that you could do that, but if your inner core does not agree, does not is not congruent, is not in line with that. It's just it's not. It doesn't happen.
Joe Dispenza teaches that the mind, the brain is electrical in nature, thinking is electrical, and that feeling is magnetic in nature. And the feeling is sort of tied to the subconscious mind. And we feel our ways into reality. We render our reality through the way that we feel, magnetically attracting or being unattractive in accordance with how we feel. Well, our beliefs about ourselves actually create the feeling, and then that feeling pulsates out constantly. So
Exactly.
to upgrade our beliefs about ourselves, especially, and about the world in general, I've found is so highly important. Your
And it
website,
creates it. Yeah, it creates our reality. Our realities are all different. My reality is different than yours because my internal world is different than yours.
mm-hmm. No
We
two
just need
people alike anywhere ever.
absolutely. We need to just need to understand that and happily live together. You mentioned Joe Dispenza. He was the catalyst of my uh, personal growth. I have a story about that. I went to a bookshop to find a book on the power of now, Eckhart Tolle, and I was looking through all the books, and a book just landed on my head because someone misplaced that on the shelf, and I pick it up, and it's Joe Dispenza. Break
It
the
literally
habits of
fell on
being
your head.
yourself. Breaking the habits of being yourself. You know what? That's the book I bought. And from there, my life is, I'm a huge fan of Joe Dispenza.
Have you gone to any of his retreats yet?
I haven't gone to the retreats, but I've done extensive work online
That's awesome.
on his lectures. And yes, his science background, and we had um, an immediate affinity.
Hmm. Yeah, I first discovered his work on the show called Impact Theory that Tom Bilyeu does.
Yeah,
And
came across him as well.
wow, I dove deep into Joe Dispenza's world and his work, and I own that book as well. And if anyone wants to break the habit of being themselves and actually transition into an expanded version of the self and create a much better life, that is a good book to get. What are some other books or podcasts, different tools that you've used along the way that helped you go within and discover potential and expand into it?
Um, I I follow different mentors, um, Peter Levine and Deborah Dana on polyvagal, and Gabor Mate on trauma, and it's a combination of all these giants that are uh, lifting me to do what I do in a in a different way. The people think that is hypnosis as conventional hypnosis, that you are relaxed. Then I just tell you a few suggestions, and some of the suggestions will agree, some will not. It's up to the client. No, my process is very immersive. We we deal with we deal with what emerges in the session. We start with the four eyes. Like it's an investigation and interpretation, and bearing in mind that the presenting problem is never, I haven't come across it, is never the root of the problem. the clients that come for sessions on drug addiction or alcohol addiction or any addiction or suicidal ideation or emotional eating, the presenting problem, it's a start. It's not the root cause of the problem. So I always investigate. We always investigate and interpret it.
Do you interpret it for them, or do they interpret it as they see it?
In the session, I conduct it so that there is an interpretation of it. Okay. It's all client-led. I'm here to ask, not to tell.
I like that.
I don't, the telling you, Peter, you need to do this, that, and that. It doesn't work. Didn't work for me. It doesn't work for my clients. So together in the session, we investigate. I conduct the session so there is an investigation. And there is an interpretation of what is that. So now you investigate, you've interpreted, you need to keep it or remove it. So we interact. There is tools to interrupt it. So now that that is out of your life, it will never affect you again. We need to install and integrate what you want to achieve. So, for example, someone came in because had a problem with one of my last clients had a problem with drinking alcohol socially, to the point that she end up being in places that she doesn't want to be. So alcohol is not the problem. The root problem was people pleasing that came into that. And as a result, she's empowered to enjoy a drink or two, knows her limit, and empowered to say, actually, I'm leaving the party, I'm going. And it's empowered to have a different conversations with her friends. Like, you know that if I drink more than that, I will feel ill, I'm not happy. You don't want that for me, do you? And if they are friends, they're going to say, no, gosh, no, we don't. If they are not your friends, they want you to continue on that path. So she's now empowered to know the difference and see who is grieving the old version of her and who is welcoming the new version of her.
That's enlightening.
And gradually her circle will change until some of her friends see the transformation and do the same work. And the thing is that is natural. She wasn't seeing the changes in her, but everybody around was seeing the changes, because for her, I'm me. I just don't want that. If you don't like cheese, you don't eat cheese. But if you have to eat cheese because someone else's is and you eat cheese, but you're not happy. So it's that kind of analogous thing. So she is empowered with her life. And this is one thing that happens with my clients. Some see the transformation immediately. They do this now, they don't. Some, it's so natural to them that they're not aware. When I ask what happened, uh, nothing. I don't feel any changes. The only thing is that I'm more assertive. So,
Well, people pleasing is something that so many of us are born
yeah,
with and
to an
raised to do.
extent, yeah, to an extent, the majority of people do it. It's
Sure.
when that is your default mechanism
Hmm.
to 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 belong.
And saying no is difficult, and you're always walking on eggshells around certain people, trying to make them happy, like you're in charge of their happiness and their well-being, right? But really, that's something that I did for decades, and eventually learned that, oh, I'm not in charge of anybody's happiness but mine. And so I also used alcohol, or I was around friends that I thought wouldn't accept me if I were to not drink around them. And I was like able to quickly find out who my true friends were, and who, just wanted me to drink with them so they could feel comfortable drinking.
Yeah,
And it's interesting. The Peter Crone is someone that I follow, and one of his stories that I love was he had been golfing that day, and him and his friend were sitting in a hot tub, and this man comes over, starts talking to them, and the man's wife and little boy are playing off in the pool. And, oh, what do you do? And, well, I'm a sort of an activist for change, and I'm a mind architect. And this guy's all, huh? What the heck is that? How
excellent.
would you
I
change
like
my
that.
mind? You know?
Mind architect.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
He said, well, how would you change my mind? I'm a smoker. How are you going to get me to quit smoking? He goes, oh, I wouldn't. There's nothing wrong with smoking. And the guy's all, what? What are you talking about? Of course there is. He goes, see, smoking's not your issue. Your belief about yourself because you smoke is the issue.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
So the things that we do to belong, to feel safe, to avoid displeasure, and to seek out comfort can sometimes be very destructive in our lives. Is it the belief about the self that is the truly destructive uh, factor?
It's a learned thing. It's a learned thing. If a child, in order to belong and to be loved, had to excel and had to have high grades for that, in life, it's going to be an overachiever. It's going to be suffering from burnout. It's going to be working, 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 because that is the identity. And people identify themselves with what they do. We are not what we do. We are not what we have. These are things that we create, but that is not me.
Mhm.
I'm this entity. I'm this spirit, this essence with a body that enables me to do things, acquire a car, acquire properties, acquire financial wealth, acquiring these. It's just a way of expressing that. The problem is that the majority of people are encased in the body, and body, it's geared for comfort. And the essence of us is geared for expansion.
Mm.
And when there is a need to expand, to evolve, to grow, encased in this, that it's geared for comfort and does everything to move away from pain to pleasure, there is this conflict, there is this resistance.
Mhm.
So, by working with the subconscious mind, working with the beliefs and transform and changing them, our life gets transformed. And you can do it slowly with meditation. But I found that if I'm doing it myself, I I know where there is a limit and I don't do any further. And I prefer to swap in sessions with my colleagues. And then we know. And I have a colleague that I've been working for years, and we know now each other's blind spots. And one question is, what are you hiding from? What is this mask for? And then you need to confront the shadow and integrate it. That's where parts therapy comes. We all have many, many, many parts. Some we like, some we don't, but they are all part of us. And we cannot discard parts. We have to integrate parts. And they come to help us because their primary function is to help you. But if you integrate it in a way that helps you better, for example, the person who has the part of drinking or alcohol, drug taking, it's a useful part. All parts are useful. So it's integrating that part with a different function. Instead of empowering me to go and get the drugs and commit crime because you're very strong on that, help me to feel relaxed, to just be without it. Easy said than done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's when that part is neglected, when that part is not integrated, and we all have. Every single person has many parts. Mm-hmm. Even suicide it is there to help you.
Yeah, I know.
Everything else is not okay. So don't worry. I have these to help you, but it's not. It's what people grasp to. So it's integrating all these parts. Then we become the self-empowered self. Every single person has good and evil in the same person. As above, so below. As above, so below. As is in here, so will be in here. It's different interpretations of things. It's and all in the same individual.
Over the years, I've learned a few things about the energy that flows through us and surrounding us in and out, constantly flowing, and how within some of the chakra systems, according to what we're thinking or how we're perceiving of things, it dictates a blockage within certain areas of the body, which then later manifests as a physical ailment, a disease. What are some beliefs or practices that we can incorporate that would allow us to let go and allow this energy to flow more effectively?
One of my methods in hypnosis is to find the purpose of that.
The purpose of the
of the pain in the back, the tightness of the voice, the pain in the heart. What is that communicating to you? We cannot think a feeling. Mm. We we are trained and conditioned to think a feeling. We have to feel a feeling. But the running away from the feeling is what creates this coping mechanism. I'm not able to do that. Okay, so don't worry. I'm going to put that emotion, that unprocessed trauma on your gut. Then you have an excuse to not to do this, that, because you have this. My process is a mind and body connection. Where is it situated in your body? What color it is, what shape it is. Now you can visualize that in order to go deeper into it, because the majority of people don't want to go. Yeah. So there is a route to see it in a different way. It's not your pain. You are affected by pain. It's not my anxiety, my depression, my this, my that. When you say my, you own it. It's not. You are being affected by that. So see it. And then we during the session, we said, what is the purpose of this? Because it is here for a reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there.
What might these different areas of physical pain mean, like a backache or a neck ache or stomach problems?
Exactly. So some could be guilt and remorse. Some could be not being able to express your truth. You witness something and you are concerned and you're not able to say that. So because you fear for your life or different reasons. Mm-hmm. So the body creates this coping mechanism. But in hypnosis, you go there, you remove it, you deal with it, you integrate it, you free yourself.
Over the years, I've heard a lot of people speak about hypnosis in negative ways, like, oh, that's weird stuff, and I've come to think of hypnosis as a very tranquil, peaceful, comforting, loving, safe space of light that we align and connect with in order to go within safely.
That's a beautiful definition. I may use that.
There's so many definitions. Yeah.
It is. It has very negative connotations attached to it. People think that I are going to lose control, that it's mind control, that I'm going to make you do things that you don't want. No, you are complete awareness. Mm-hmm. It's just your conscious mind is subdued and your subconscious comes to the surface. You don't have the logic side interfering. And if it comes, we do something else so that it's satisfied. We keep that side busy so that the subconscious come in with the answers and the roots of the problem. There is nothing I could do to you that if it's not in agreement with you, that you would do. I could not say to a client, and while you're in this state of relaxation, you're going deeper and deeper. And when it's time to pay me, you're just going to put 3 extra zeros on the check. Yeah. And you're feeling relaxed more and more. The more zeros you put, the better you feel. What? what is that? It doesn't go because it, or Peter, after the session, you just love the session so much that you're going to buy me a Ferrari. It's nobody can do anything that is not in agreement with you. And I'm a firm believer that you have the resources with you. You just need guidance. You just need someone that is walking alongside with you, not doing the steps for you, not carrying you, alongside, sometimes one step ahead to make sure that the path is safe, sometimes back so that you need to go and find the path. It's a beautiful and transformative way. I've experienced that. I absolutely love it. Yes, you can do it yourself if you have a lifetime to meditate, like Buddhist monks have their life on meditation until they become enlightened. It's a quicker way to go to the root and eradicate it, interrupt it, integrate it, and free yourself. The past is the past. The past is not you. But it will never affect you again the way it did. But it's not going to erase you. But you're not affected by that. You're going to be using that in an empowered way. You become a voice for the ones that are not able to do that.
Ram Dass once said, we're all just walking each other home. And I envision meditation and hypnosis and a yogic practice, anything that we use as a tool to quiet the mind and realign and reconnect with our true source, our true nature, as alignment. And it's almost as if now that I'm understanding hypnosis a little better, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're walking your clients home meaning inward to the source of it all. And when we align and connect with that true self, it empowers us to then really become more self-aware, take a look at our entire lifespan, our timeline, and pick out the pieces that really are perceived as having done us harm, and being able to sort of reframe the beliefs surrounding those moments in life in a beautiful way that make those things a gift to us, and then empowers us to expand into a better version of ourselves and create a better reality, thereby manifesting and attracting a more beautiful world, right? I really highly recommend anybody who's interested in becoming a better version of themselves to seek out Juan and use his services and do the work and go inward with him and learn how to do this on your own much better. It's something that has taken me 10 years to learn about and begin to practice. And I feel like I'm just scratching the tip of the iceberg. So using you as a mentor or as a tool in order to expand more quickly and efficiently, in my opinion, it is a good life strategy. Just
absolutely. I have my coach and I have my colleagues to help me on we swap sessions. There are sometimes that some stressful situations come, and I've explored everything coach-wise and emotional-wise, but I'm stuck. So we need to find the root of that. I probably know, but I would want to go there. So if another hypnotherapist facilitates that, then it's done.
What is it that causes most of us as human individuals to not want to become more self-aware and to go deep within? What are we so fearful of finding?
Different people have different excuses. When you work on yourself, and when you as you progress, as you evolve, you have more responsibility. You have you cannot unknow what you know. And it automatically empowers you to do good, empowers you to facilitate change. Happy people don't have time to be mean, to be um, evil, basically. Suffering people to use those mechanisms to better themselves, but it's not the way.
Yeah.
So the freer you are, the more you move with grace, and life just flows, because you don't take things as 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 cast in stone. Although we may think that our beliefs are cast in stones, our beliefs are ours to change. But if the concept is alien to someone, they live their life as if there was no possibility of change. And change is difficult, because the mind itself is this dissonance, this conflict of expansion versus comfort. Comfort always will have a pull. Pete, I exercise 3 times a week to maintain my physique and my health. And I do my 100 press ups and my burpees and all that. And I've been doing them for a long time. On the days that I have to do that, I said, oh my God, today. But as soon as I put my trainers, as soon as I lace them up, and soon as I've got my gear and I do them, I'm loving it. It's helping me. It's maintaining my physical body in good shape. I love it. I love it. This is amazing. And I work myself towards doing it. Do I like exercise? No. But do I see the benefit? Yes. And when I'm in it, and when it's done, it's done. I feel much better.
Mm-hmm. Never regret going.
No.
Getting there sometimes is difficult, but you never regret. Yeah. So
but
in
I
the same
already
way,
know if I do things in play, if I have things in place to get me there. I got the insight from a friend of mine. He leaves the house and he does his shoelaces outside of the door. Because if he sits in the sofa doing his laces, he will have the phone, he will have the emails. So he puts his trainers, his sneakers, and leaves the house, closes the door, laces the shoes outside. And that is the go.
That's brilliant. That's a good idea. James Clear wrote the book Atomic Habits, and
Excellent.
that exact example is in that book, and it's useful.
Yeah, we all human. We all and change is difficult for everybody. Something they need to go through things in order to get better. But it's not my advice is not to many changes in one go because it overwhelms your reptilian brain, and then you will be just creating excuses.
Yeah.
Do things gradually. The stop smoking sessions, if you have to smoke, smoke until you don't have to smoke. But you now are aware that the negative effects of these, and swapping these with vaping is the same thing, because you don't know the amount of chemicals that you are inhaling. They're equally as harmful. It's just a modern gadget because things move with time. But if you have to do it, think that you have to do it and why you need to do it.
The feeling and the belief of I am not enough. It seems like Marissa Peer kind of coined that phrase. I've actually got a tattoo that says I am enough as a reminder.
I wear a bracelet with that. I'm trained in her methodology as well.
Oh, wow. I love what she does and obviously what you do just because of that.
I incorporate, this is my, I am enough.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
But
before repeating I am enough, it doesn't go, because the belief system was you aren't.
Well, it's interesting because once you start repeating a belief long enough, it almost programs your subconscious mind to go and seek out only the things that will prove that. And when inside we think, oh, I'm inadequate, I'm broken, I'm worthless, I'm of no value to anybody, that's all that our subconscious mind will seek every day and at all times to prove it to be true, because as humans, we just want to be right.
Yeah.
And when we can seek out the opportunity to reprogram the subconscious mind and our own beliefs and up-level those in congruence with who we truly are and the life that we truly do want to experience, that's magical,
It's absolutely magic. But that it's only possible with someone that already walked the path, already walked a path. Someone starting, it is not congruent. Mm-hmm. You have to start somewhere. Meditation or healthy eating or exercising or something. And that then changing one thing will make the clocks all working.
Yes.
And change everything. It reverberates in every area of your life.
I'm a big believer that altering one aspect of our life bleeds into all other aspects of our lives. And if we can change just one thing, start one thing and get better at that, we feel better. And then those feelings, like you said, reverberate into all other areas of life and up levels our consciousness,
Yeah.
And momentum builds too. So if we stop, the momentum dies off and then it's hard to start again, just like going to the gym, right? You take 2 months off and then all of a sudden you go back and you're like, ow, this hurts. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So I use that as a reminder. Oh, it's hurting because it's not been worked.
Mm-hmm. I would rather hurt because I did the work rather than hurting because I'm just sitting around. It's a different hurt entirely.
Isn't it amazing?
Especially in our 50s, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I want to age healthy and able to walk everywhere, and it's an investment that I have to commit to myself.
Absolutely. So a healthy mind equates to a healthy body.
Yeah. And now I understand that.
Me too. And it took me decades to figure that one out.
We all are in our journeys.
I love that. Bruce, it was Greg Braden once said that consciousness informs itself through its creations. And I thought about that for days. And I thought, what better way for consciousness to inform its quote unquote self than to infuse a seed of itself into trillions of life forms simultaneously? You know, what a massive upload of information. And so I started re-identifying as this consciousness, this energy that I always grew up thinking spirit was within the body somewhere, you know. And recently heard a podcast where someone was explaining this vision of
a body with a spirit,
the spirit surrounding the whole body and vibrating outward, this beautiful light that we all are inhabiting and animating this human experience through the body.
Yeah, we all thought that it's a body with a spirit instead of a spirit with a body to do that. So everything is geared towards the body, and every commercial, every need is towards the body. Because that's where dependencies are, that's where urges, needs, vices are. But we are a spirit. We are an essence. And then we command this. Because when people die, the body's still there, their brain is there, their nerves are there, but the essence isn't there. And there are countless of research of near-death experiences that the people experience the blissness that is the expansion, our essence, that this bliss, and then they are reanimated, reactivated, and then they are jolted back into the body, and they, oh, why did you do that?
So uncomfortable in this body. So you spoke of meditation, a morning practice. When did you first start meditating? What was that like?
When I came to England, I grew up in a Catholic family, and Catholicism is very dominant. It's Catholicism and nothing else. Everything else is not good. Mm-hmm. Catholicism is the way. And I grew up in that environment, and it wasn't solving the solutions. It wasn't giving solutions. It wasn't solving. People pray, and no changes there. People do this, and then it didn't work with me. I'm glad I've experienced that side and come to England. I had time to think by myself and acquire friends of different backgrounds and start meditating.
How were you first introduced to the idea of meditation?
I was maybe 24, 25 years old. And different ways of meditating. Mm-hmm. Some people say this, some people do that, some people do that, some people do that. And then I went to Buddhist retreats, different retreats, different things. And when they told me that meditation it's an inner experience. Trying to force everything it's controlling and it's not meditating. And when this monk taught me, do you think that I don't have thoughts while I'm meditating? Do you think I'm not dealing with emotions while meditating? I says, no, because I look at you, you are radiating, you are peace, you are love, you are. And when he said, Carlos, that's a reflection of you on me. I'm dealing with emotions. I'm dealing with lots of things in here. The fact that you are able to see love, light, that is you. I says, oh my God, that makes sense. If I see you as a monster, I will create the conditions for you to behave that way. But if I see someone that is suffering, someone that is doing that because they're not able to do that any other way, it was very difficult to understand that every behavior has a positive intention. What? What? No, I don't believe that. But now I do. Because people have their own coping mechanisms. They create their own coping mechanism. It doesn't, I'm not saying that they are right. They are the right thing to do. But if that is the thing that they have to do to cope, they won't be doing something else. So there is a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of unprocessed trauma. There is a lot of need to awakening. There is a lot of people like you and me that bring a message of hope that in the midst of this chaos, look for the pockets, for the moments of amazingness that exist. And you have resources with you, and I believe in you. And acquaint yourself with the breath, the power of the breath, to connect both. It's in itself energizing, calming. Instead of arguing, being in conflict, I say, would you please take a moment to take a breath? Because when you take a breath, you will engage your frontal cortex and you will be more intelligent. If you don't, you will be reactive. Take a moment and could I ask you please to take a breath? And then we talk. I myself not reacting because I could be reacting, but reminding you to take a breath. I remind myself to take a breath. And we haven't resolved the problem. We haven't resolved the issue yet, but we are more empowered to come to a solution.
I would say that meditation, breath work, taking a deep breath, yoga, exercise, all of these things are tools for realignment. What other tools might you add to that list? How does one get and remain in alignment with the true self and calmness and peace and joy and love?
It's awareness. It's understanding that it's difficult to be aligned 100% all the time. Mm-hmm. we live and interact with people, and there are things outside our control that may test us. But I question what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? Don't ignore that you are angry, that you're feeling hateful or this or that. Acknowledge that. That triggered in me an emotion. I'm curious about it. So I contain it. It's not dissociating, it's awareness of what is that. It's becoming easier and easier because that's what I do. For someone new, is just acquainting themselves to that emotion and acknowledging that you're feeling frustrated because the computer is not doing this, or someone just said something that upset you. It's just being aware of that. And why did I feel upset about what that person said? Where is the evidence of that? So it's bringing awareness. And with that awareness, the empowerment of the emotional intelligence. The more emotional intelligent we are, the better we will navigate the world around us.
I agree with that. You know what? It's come to my attention many different times in many different ways in my lifetime now that what we focus on is what we feed. And what we think about and what we talk about, we're literally feeding with our energy, our time, our attention. And that's why the like social media, the news, all these programs on television, on the radio, they are all fighting for our attention because they know that our attention, our time, our energy will feed their purpose. And I've decided, and I have to remind myself every day, what do I want for me and my wife, my children, my grandchildren? What life do I want to create for us? And then it dissolves all else as I focus on what I do want and get realigned with that.
For me, growing up was the adventures. I was walking, I never met my grandfathers, but my great grandmothers were always present. They died earlier, before I was born. But my grandmothers always provided adventure. And children love adventure. Children love play. So one of my grandmothers used to take me in her rounds and talk with her friends, and she had pockets in her skirt that had everything in it. There was nothing that I needed that wasn't there. I didn't know where she stored them. That was never an issue. At some point, there was a time for a cookie. At some point, there was time for this, that, and walking here and there and allowing me to do this and fall down and waiting for me to get up. It's just provide adventures and support. And you don't need gadgets. You don't need toys. You can create a car with a twig, or allow your imagination. I always remember drinking water from the fountain. We didn't have a glass or anything. The nearest thing that she saw was a field with cabbages, and she took a cabbage leaf and turned it into a cone like that, fill it with water, and gave it to me. And that water was, to this day, the freshest water I ever tasted. Not even a problem. We don't have glasses, we make something. So if you create things like that, your grandchildren will always love you. I'm 58, I'm still talking about these amazing experiences. And no toys were involved, nothing was involved. It's just that human connection, that love, that understanding, laughter. Yes, there will be times that they will fall down and they will hurt themselves, but they will stand up and um, learn from that.
Yeah, and that's the key to life, like keep showing up. Never make a permanent decision based on a temporary uh, feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
isn't it true that our relationships to others and our connections and experiences with others is what truly makes this life so much more beautiful and worth living?
In the end, that's what it is. It's not what you've accumulated. It's not what it's those things that give life meaning.
Yeah, I love that. You know, in closing, I want to thank you again for being a guest on the show today. Keiko is the one that introduced me to you and your work, and I have to thank her for that. I know that she's a mutual friend of ours, and
Yeah,
she's been doing a lot of work on herself and just expanding and growing so much. And I just watch her with so much inspired thought, and inspiration that I get just from watching her growth makes me want to keep going and keep working. And it's fun.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
good to have connections and friends, even if I never meet you, either one of you in person. Isn't technology amazing? We can connect from so far away.
It is. It's, I'm so grateful that there is no boundaries, there is no distance.
Yeah.
It can connect. It's a powerful tool. Yet some people can use it to disconnect, and it's what you do with it. And we are using it to empower, to give people hope, to believe in themselves, because I do firmly believe that we have the resources to overcome. No one better than us know what it is. We just need to show a light to that so that there is no dark anymore, and then move on.
Now, you do most of your work online using this technology and connecting with people all over the world. And what is the best way for people to connect with you? Is it through your website or?
Yeah, I do have a website, changeideserve.com, and I'm active on social media. I post regularly, and if people want to have a session with me, we always start with a discovery call so that the client sees me and I see the client. I may not be the right client, the right therapist for that client, and I may suggest a colleague of mine, and vice versa. Some of colleagues refer me to me. So it all starts with the discovery call, and we proceed from there.
And the discovery call is usually around 30 minutes and it's no charge.
It varies 30 minutes to an hour, or it's uh, we deal with that emerges because every person is different. Not every session is the same. Although I have a wide range expertise and tools, not every tool is used on a particular client. because we all different. So my sessions are tailor-made and done in conjunction with you rather than done to you. That's the beauty of the efficacy.
At the close of this interview, I would like to ask, what would you say, or what message would you give to those who are feeling hopeless, who may be suicidal, who just want that suffering to end and don't know how to make it happen? What hope would you provide?
In order for the suffering to end, we need to do something different. What is this? What is the suffering stems from? And don't suffer in silence. Don't suffer alone. Don't mask your suffering with the masks of happiness. Always be aware of the happy friend, because they did an exhibition of every single person that died during a year. They all had happy faces. So someone can be hiding behind that. Don't suffer in silence and ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. A sign of weakness is thinking that you can do it all yourself, and we sometimes not able to. Sometimes we have to ask for help. Sometimes we have to allow things to happen.
I like that message.
That is a part of that. We all have that part, but we don't have. We can integrate that to empower us to something else. Yeah. The suffering can end, but we need to work through it. And it's not thinking the feeling. We need to feel the feeling. If you need to feel anger because of injustices, you have to feel anger. You need to express it. You cannot think, intellectualize the pain. A feeling has to be felt. If it's not felt, it goes somewhere else and causes something else. So the suffering of someone that has suicide ideation, you haven't explored every single situation, every single resource that are there. You think you've explored, you haven't. Someone somewhere will be able to bring light to it. And there are loads and loads of websites that can provide help. And the embarrassing, feeling embarrassed to ask for help, we just need to overcome that barrier. Because if we don't, that's when the problems happen, that person feels alone.
Agreed. For many years, I hid the fact that I was suffering through severe depression, suicidal ideation. And it wasn't until someone else that I had confided in asked for help for me, which infuriated me in the moment, that I finally got some relief and some help that I really needed to expand out of the suffering, and realize that in order for life to get better for me, I had to get better. In order for life to change for me, I had to change and do something different, like you said. So well put. I appreciate that answer. Thank you.
lots of people have been there. I have been there.
Isn't it crazy how suffering can be the catalyst to even more expansion and growth? And maybe that's the purpose of it all. Maybe the suffering is the gift. Well, I really appreciate your time, Juan. Thank you so much. I highly recommend
Wonderful.
for everyone to check out this man's website and connect with him, use him as a tool, and expand into a greater version of yourself.
Explore. We start with an exploration and start with exploring.
Make that exploration call. It's free. It's no charge. Talk to him and see if there's maybe a potential for cultivating a relationship that will empower you to help yourself. Thank you so much, Juan. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we close?
No, thank you very much for the opportunity to show my message. And I hope that someone will be able to find nuggets of wisdom in there and take the step to start their journey. No one can walk our journey. We have to walk our journey ourselves.
Isn't it nice, though, to know that we can hold someone's hand and be guided along the path on the way home inward?
Indeed. And we rise by lifting others. That is the message.
I came across a quote not too long ago. And I think that quotes are sort of, in a way, we can adopt the idea behind the quote as a belief. And I call them reprogramming tools now rather than quotes. But this one really struck me, hit me hard, because it said that the final step in healing is empowering others to heal themselves. So thank you for the work that you do.
And thank you for your work you do too.